Good day, everyone. And so yesterday, a colleague sent me a data analytics assessment to try specifically on SQL, and it is especially interesting because I think this is some. It might be um, generated, but uh, automatically generated data, but it is, I believe, is a data that it is worth trying, and it's a proficiency assessment basically to evaluate your working knowledge of relational database and actually using it to solve real life problems. I don't think I'm going to read this out. Unfortunately, I don't think I will completely per se. Um, As you guys can see, there'll be data retrieval, aggregation, join, subquery, and manipulation across multiple tables. That's what the heads up they are giving. They've actually given a link to download the database, and I'm just going to click on it. I've already downloaded it, but I'll just click on this link, and it takes me there. And you can then just download it and you have access to the complete database. Um okay, I think I'll just do it then. Curious, I'll just do it. So I'll just click on download. Hopefully it takes me um somewhere that I can download it. Then yeah, so like I said, I've downloaded it before. I don't think I need to do that. Let me open it. It's a zip file, and um, the SQL file we need is actually there. In this case, I have created a folder where I'll just unzip the file to. I'll just unzip it here. Just basically click and drag, and I could decide to double click on it and some editor. My preferred editor in this case would be MySQL Workbench. Let me double click on it and see what's going to happen. So I'll have, so you can use the SQL Server Management Studio for Microsoft SQL Server. I really would not like to use VS Code in this case because I would need to download an extension for it. I will just open it in MySQL Workbench, and yeah. So it has four different tables. It has a user table for customer. It has a savings account table. It has a plan and withdrawal table. So basically, they are just giving us the evaluation criteria. So they would test in terms of accuracy, efficiency, completeness, and readability. So how you write your query, how simple it is to understand, the logic, how then maybe putting a comment. And so they now give a criteria for submission, or requirement for submission. You need to create a new public repo named this. So basically, get a GitHub account will do this for you. Create a readme file to commit all the SQL file and a readme. And so the readme is just an explanation of the queries you've written. They said it must be named according to the format in the repo structure, and the repo structure is down, which is what we are seeing here. So assessment Q1. So each question, so there are 4 questions. If questions, you create a file, a SQL file for them. Each file must contain a SQL query that answers the question, be properly formatted in clear indentation. Well, SQL is not, I don't know. I don't know why they did this, but well, it doesn't have that indentation problem. But for some reason, they want you to indent. Include comment for complex sections, which is rightly so. So in coding, specifically in programming, you write comments to help any other a third party take a look at your code and understand what you were trying to solve or achieve. And so for the README file, the specification is per question explanation. It'll explain your approach to each question, challenges, like what you face and how you solved it, basically. All mock must be your own original creation. Must share solution. You do not share solution with other candidates. Well, these are then include only SQL and no database dump. Or yeah, so this makes sense. Um, so the first question, before we get to the questions, right? Let me open the file itself. So we have a lot. So they wrote some couple of things, and you have the table, and you have the insert, and so on and so forth. So the insert is down here, which is why the SQL table is the SQL workbench is lagging, and they did a lot of inserts till the end. Now I didn't inspect, so you have every other thing. So basically they created the table, they did the creation of unique key, primary key, and so on and so forth. So just going to go back. Now if I decide to run this particular, the whole of this query, everything, I most likely am going to get an error. Now so I'm just going to put my cursor anywhere here. Do I? Or let's say here. Nice. So I'm not connected yet, so I cannot do any running. So what I can then do is just go to home, go to my local instance, just connect with my local instance, enter my password, and yeah. So I then see no, not really. Okay, let me restore this. Oh no, I don't want to restore this. I just want to, yeah, I'm going to close all, right? Let me cancel for this. Don't save for this. Don't save for this. So now this is the file itself, the file that I downloaded, which is about 70 MB. Now if I decide to run it, so this is basically um so I'm going to use this. So I didn't select anything. I'll just use this to run the whole script, the whole query. I am going to get an error here. um oh sorry. No, this is not it actually. Let me just, oh, I'm not going to. Okay, so this is it. Sorry, I think I'm just going to close this here and click on this place. So I'm going to close it. I'll go to open, because I've, like I said, downloaded it before. I'll go to open SQL script, and I will locate where I kept the folder, which is assessment, and just click on the SQL script. um Now, so if I click anywhere here, I will just run the script. Now I am going to get an error, and they said, so everything ran here, and from here it said the drop table if exists plan. There's an error there. Why? So there is no selected database. So basically create a database. So you can either create it up or down if you want. Anyone is fine. So maybe I'll just use up. I'll say create database. I'll just say assessment is the name of the database. Then I'll then say use database. I'll use assessment. Yeah. and so then I'll be able to run the whole thing. It's going to create database. It's drop if table exists inside that database, and if not, it's going to create tables. So it's going to create the four tables for me. I think this has to do with in terms of time zone. I really don't know. These are logics for the database itself. Um, Anyways, I'm going to run it now. I will not use the one. I'll just use the first one. So I'll just run it and watch what happens. So you can see it is running. We're having some warnings, but everything is running fine. So I think it's going to execute every query that was written there. Um, yeah. So it might take some couple of minutes to finish running, but just make sure you create your database, then use assessment, or use the database, and you can then run everything. It's going to take you a while to actually execute. Pause the video. When it's done, I'll continue. So it is done, and I had some warnings, but basic no error, just warnings. So I'll just go for the output. Let me just increase the output. Um, so this is everything that has run. So from here, the error here was because I didn't have a database. So I created database, used database, and so on and so forth until the last query, which is down here. Now I'm done with this file, this SQL file. I can then decide to close it if I want, because I don't have any use for it. However, if I look at my schema towards my right, my left, I don't have my assessment database yet. All I just need to do is just to refresh, or right click and refresh all. So you can just click on the refresh here, and you can see, because I said use assessment database, you can see that my database here is thicker and more bold. Now I will just check the table, and I can see then I then have four different tables which correspond to these particular tables here, and then I can then query for for multiple using a particular word. I so I can then decide to respond to the questions. Now for me to respond to each of the questions, I'll just create a new SQL file, and in this case I'll just name my file. I'll say Control S. Where do I want to save it? I want to save it in my folder, so I'll say assessment. Assessment is the name, and I'll say underscore Q1. I think let's go to the instructions and see. So they said okay, so assessment underscore Q1, and so on and so forth. So basically I'll just create new files and do that. And so the first thing I want to do is to view all the tables I have. So I will then say select. I don't want to view everything. I can just select all from that. So select asterisk is select all the oh, this thing closed. Why? Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Let me reshoot up my SQL workbench. I really don't know what happened. This is interesting. Oh, so it is up. I didn't know what happened. Really. Maybe I mistakenly pressed. I'm using a new keyboard and I'm really trying. Oh, do I need to restore? Yeah, okay, let me restore. Okay, cool. Um, so um, before running this, because if you check towards where my schema is by the left hand side, you can see that none of the database is active. Again, the database is active if you see it a little bit bold and thick. And so I have to just come here and just say use database and just run this. You can see it has become active. My assessment database has become active. Then I would then say from this, I'll say, let's see. So it will be plans underscore plan, I think. And I'll select and run. Well, I don't want to see everything. And so because it's going to make it slow. So I just want to limit it to 5. Yeah, so let me run it. And yeah, so I'll just see the first 5 rows. I would just do the same thing for the rest of them. And I can do a count, right, of everything again. So let's say savings underscore savings account, and I will do a count, but in this case I'm really not interested in doing a count because, so what if I know the number of rows? It's not like I'm doing any you know. Okay, so then the last one is withdrawal, right? So I'll just paste and just change to withdrawals underscore withdraw. Now I don't really think this is a wise way to name your table, but well, I also figured that this is from an application because of some of the information that I'm seeing there. So, which is interesting. So now that I'm done creating a query to view, to just have an insight of what my tables look like, I can actually create a procedure that will make my life easier. All I just need to do is just to call the procedure, stored procedure. But yeah, I've already written them. I really am not going to go through the pain of having to do that. So I can do a comment on each of these query that I wrote. I'll say dash dash. I'll say view plans table, and I would say Control C. Give space here. I would say view savings table, and I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the query, just so you give anybody who is reviewing your code or your queries that readability, so they can understand what you're trying to do. Now everybody knows this, but well, just assume the other person at the end of um, the table is a machine, or they don't really know what they are doing. Just assume that. Now, okay, so I would not go through each and every column of each table to check what it is, because you have like a whole lot of information. I'm really not interested in that. I don't think that is um the goal of this assessment. Okay, so we'll just go straight to the point. They said question 1 is high value customer with multiple products. They give a scenario. The business wants to identify customers who have both savings and investment planning, cross-selling opportunity. So they say you should write a query to find a customer with at least one funded savings plan and one funded investment plan, sorted by total deposit. Now, they now assisted to give like an area of reference where you should be looking out for. the three tables, the user table, the savings table, and the plans table. Now they are giving an expected output. So in your output, you should have the owner ID, name, savings account count, savings count, investment count, and total deposit. So I'm just going to go down a little, and so they gave some a hint. The owner ID is a foreign key to the ID primary key in the user table. The plan ID is a foreign key to the ID primary key in the plans table. Savings plan is, so this, there's an underscore here. Let me just add dictionary, so I wish I could add everything to dictionary. So but yeah, no, you think that they would have given us in PDF, but well, what do you know? Hmm, let me just correct some of this stuff and ignore ones. All of these, yeah, I'm not going to go through the pain of having to do this, just so that we can see it comfortably. So, but there's an underscore and so on. So anywho, now they said the savings plan, you find uh, is regular underscore savings. The investment plan is underscore a underscore fund. These are the columns. Now where exactly will you see this? I think my assumption is in the plans table. Let's go. This is my withdrawal. I don't need this. Let's go to the plans table and just take a look at what it is. So just going to scroll through. I've viewed this before, but yesterday was the first time I actually viewed it. Very interesting stuff. Took me a while to understand, because again, it's an application. You are not the one that built it, and so they need to give you some kind of hint as to what means what. I don't think it is here. If I go to my table, which is why I really anyways, data engineers are really trying. And what happened? Yeah, what did I do? Oh, what's happening? Oh, so it is savings account. Sorry, apologies. So hmm, oh yes, I think it's in the plans. I'm not sure, but okay. So this is regular savings, which is here, and they said one means yes, or that is regular savings, and I think is a fund is somewhere around here. So you can see the way the table is. Again, I sense this is an application. No, it is an application, and they are just drawing database from the database of the application, and so it is allowed for them to do this. But anyways, what do I know? A data engineer would have cleaned this stuff, and so, so a data analyst can use it also. But again, basically in the plans, these are in savings and investment. Is a fund is investment, and if the it is the investment column, and if it is one, it means that that person has an investment, and the savings, um its regular savings is one if the person have a savings account where this is one. So again, you can decide to do some other finding out by saying, okay, so you want to check what kind of data they have on the column. And what I can then do is to say for, I would say is a font, and I'll just say distinct, right? Just to get the I don't need to limit this, and I'll run it, and you only have two values, 0 and 1. And I want to assume that if you do the same thing for this regular, is this savings or thereabout, I want to assume it is this, it's going to give you the same thing. So zeros and 1. So yeah, so it's either 0 or 1, there's no null and so on. So where it is 1 is most likely yes, and 0 no. Basically that is what it means. Again, let me not get carried away. So they want to do a count of so the business wants to identify customers who have both savings and this. So where this place has to be 1 and this place has to be 1, right? So it says you write a query to find the customer with at least one funded savings plan and one funded investment plan sorted by total deposit. So what we are going to do is customer, right? So customer is in the user table. So what can we get from the customer table? Most likely the customer name and the ID, right? So what I'm going to do is for the plan, this ID match. Okay, so this owner ID, this is the primary key for this particular table, but this owner ID is a foreign key of ID here, and so we can then use this to connect to get informations like the first name, last name, and so it's equal to this. So what I'm going to do then is just to yeah, so in this case we only need is regular savings is a fund from the savings. I don't know, what do we need from plan? What do we need from the plan? I don't know why they oh yeah, so we need that from the plan is regular and saving. Then from the savings we also need total deposit, and I think our total deposit is confirmed amount. Again, is the field for, again, deposit is what goes into something when you take something somewhere. I'm assuming that. Then what else? Yeah, so I think that's why we need the savings table, and so we need confirmed amount. And I think if I go to my savings table, I would see the confirmed amount. We have the savings ID. I really don't know why this ID is here, but yeah. So let's see. Also, we have the confirmed amount here, which is interesting. So I'll assume that this is a deposit. What else? How do we then link it up to the okay, so we have owner ID, we have plan ID here, but we'll just link it to the owner ID, which is fine. So now that I have that, what I can then do is to write a query. I want to do a join. So I would say select all from, I'm going to start using instead the user customer, so it is Cosmos. I don't even know, custom user. I would just say, I'll give it an alias of UC. I would say join. I'm not going to say inner join, I'll just say join. Let me see, I'm going to join the plans underscore plan, as give it an alias of pp or pp, interesting, on, I would say UC dot id equal pp dot sorry, pp underscore owner id. I'll also say join savings underscore savings account as SSA. I'll say on, so basically this join is, I'm still using the this particular table, the user table, to join with this again. So I'll just say UC dot id equal SSA dot what owner underscore id. Now I'm going to get a long list. I don't want a long list. What I want is a selected list. So I'll just say id, or I can just say uc.id is one of the things I want. From the plans, I can say pp dot is underscore regular underscore saving. I want to say savings. Then I would say, again, I really don't need to mention that because that's the only place you find this particular column is underscore a underscore fund. Then the last one is confirmed amount, I guess. Confirmed amount. So fingers crossed. Let me run it. Hopefully I don't get an error. Oh, the work fine. Interesting. Oh, so I also need the first name, last name. Yeah. So I don't need, yeah, so I need also first name, last name. So first underscore name comma last underscore name. It just gives me a readable, instead of having to use the ID, and I can limit this to, I don't know, however. So interesting. Now what we then want to do is we will do a an aggregation, basically an aggregation to see if and there's a reason why this is not unique, and that's because the confirm amount, you know, people do the deposits every time, and so it has to be linked to a particular ID. And but this regular and savings is only appear once. It's just yeah. So basically we are just going to do a count. I think we'll do a count of it. So we want to know at least once, and we'll do a count of it. Yeah, I think. Anywho, so now that we have this, I can change this into a subquery, right? This is subquery now. I can just change it into a subquery. Now this is my new table. I can then say select all from, and this, since this is my subquery, is my new table, I will just do this, and again indentation, right? So they say I should indent. I'm going to do this, and I have to give this, I think, an alias. I'll say as new underscore table, or just a new t, and I'm going to run it. Basically nothing would have happened, same thing, but now I can actually do some, I think I can do it here, but it's going to complicate the whole issue. It will not fulfill that readability criteria, I think. And so what I can do is I can say again, the other thing I can actually do here is to do a concat, and just to join the first name and the last name together again, and just give a space, and I'll just say as full name. I can say full underscore name. What I can then do is to say I'll do ID full name I'll do count. Uh, so I'm going to try two things. I'll do a count of um is underscore regular underscore savings. Then I think I should just rename it to something. I should give it an alias. I'll say savings, and I'll say as investment, because again I don't want to have to type this every time. It should just be here. And confirm the amount, I'll just say as total deposits. Total deposits. Deposits. Yeah. So I'm just going to change this to savings. I'll do a count of investments. I will do a sum of, I think I should do a sum, not count. Yeah, I should do a sum, not count. Because it is also going to count 0, so I should do a sum, not count, right? Yeah. But curious now if I'm going to get the same thing. I should get the same thing but with some difference. I'm supposed to use sum, not count. And the sum is assuming that that particular table is a table that has the correct data type for that kind of aggregation. Oh, now, so I am supposed to also do my group by. Also group by. So I'm going to group them by ID and full name, because those are the only things I cannot do aggregation by, so I have to group them by that. And yep, I think I'm good ish. Oh, so um what is this? Oh, so full underscore name, sorry. So I think I'll just change it to, instead of underscore, I'll just say full name here, so I don't have that problem any longer. I'm going to highlight my query. Run is running. Yes, probably it's going to take some time. There's another easier way to do this, but well, let me do it like this and see what's gonna happen. Why is it taking time? It's not supposed to take this long. I think this query is ineffective. It's a longer route and consumes more RAM to run. So, but I want to do this. Oh, there is an easier way to write this. Lost connection, really? Okay, fine. It's fine. It's not a very effective query. So instead of me to do it here, I'm going to do everything here. So for the plan, I will just do a count of it. I'll write the query for it. So I'll put a subquery there, and I'll say select. I'll just say owner ID. Let me say from. I'll paste it. I'll say group by owner ID. So I'm going to copy the list from everything here. Control X. I'm going to paste it here. Now this time around, I'll do a count of it. Now I don't think it's the right approach. This is not right. I think I'm supposed to do a sum. Yep, I'll do a sum. Supposed to be a sum, right? So Okay, yeah, so I'm good with that. Um, yeah. So this is one table. So if I run this, just this, oh, so yeah, so I have this, right? So now this, mind you, this includes zero. So I think I'm supposed to do sum instead of count, because it's either one or zero, so it's not going to count zero. But for this, it's going to count. I think, yeah, I'm supposed to do a sum. So you can then see 4, 1, 1, and so on, which is a little bit different. Now, I do not want any zeros for either savings and investment. I want ones for it. So I'll just say group by. So it will be where, then group by. So it will be where. Actually, for the purpose of using the alias, instead of having to say is, I'll just say having savings, because if I say where, I have to use the actual name of that particular column. Having savings greater than zero, or I will say and here. So both of them have to be true. And investments greater than zero. So they have to be one, right? So I would run it again. Okay. What is happening? Hold on. Sorry. What have I done that is wrong? Oh, so I think I was sorry. I was running something. I think I ran the whole. Yeah. So now I have 195 rows, and yeah, I'm getting there. So there's also a uh, for the purpose of effectiveness, I think for the purpose of effectiveness, I can also create a case instead of having to do this. Um, uh, yeah. Um, yep. But I really don't know what it is going to do. I don't know what it is going to do. I didn't see the difference. So I was supposed to create like a case for this, and I'll just do a sum. So what I'm just going to, instead of this, I'll just say case when investment equals one, then one, else zero, and I'll do a sum of it. I'll just copy this, Control C, and but I really don't know if it's going to give me the same results. And this is for the purpose that we don't exactly know. Um, we don't know the we don't know the data type for that these particular columns. That's the assumption. So why is it showing me error? Why is it showing me error? Something is wrong. Oh, sorry. So I think it's supposed to do this. Control X. No, Control. Is it Control X? I did Control Y. The savings is supposed to be inside. I see the reason why I'm showing error of this. I'll just save this. This is weird, really. I think this is weird. Else 0. Oh, end. Sorry. I'm supposed to use the end. Okay, so I'll just say end. Yeah, sorry about that. I would run it again because I'm weird like that. And let's see if I'm going to get the same output. I got the same output, so I really don't know. So this one is just to make sure that maybe I really don't know the data type, but I can actually check what data type is there. I think I'll say describe, I'll say plans underscore plan, and then I'm going to run it. So I'll be able to see the data type for is let's see, so is a fund is integer, right? So there are no null values there, as well as uh, is regular savings. Now I'm assuming that this actually in reality is a boolean field, but yeah, so tiny int one, so no null. But just to be safe, yeah, I'm going to leave it that way. So basically is to this particular query is to do a count, to do a count of, so to get, I'll say get the count of savings and investment per customer, right, from the plans underscore plan table. That's what I want to do, and I just want to get a count of at least one. I'll say count of at least one, I think. Because there are a whole lot of zeros there. I don't need that. I just need one. Because I think if I just remove this, Control Z, I will just comment on this alone. Control Z, I'll comment on this alone. And if I run this particular query again, I would get the zeros part because they're actually zeros, and I don't want that. I just need something greater than 0. So I'll uncomment this and run it. So now that I'm done with that, these are customers with at least one savings and investment. So so excuse me. I can then join it with the customer, right? And for the confirmed, I'm just going to take this out, which is found in my other table, which is the savings. I'm also going to do an aggregation of I will aggregate so excuse me. So I'll aggregate the total amount of the total deposit. So I'll say now I'll indent this because this should be indentation. Going to do this. I'll say select. So I'll say select, and this is exactly what I want. I'll say from this table. Now I also need the owner ID here, owner underscore ID. So and I'll do a comma. Then I will do a sum of confirmed amount as this, and yeah, basically that'll be it. Now, so um yeah, I really don't need this any longer. Now I'm done with this, so I really don't need this any longer. Just remove this, and I'm supposed to take this back. And yeah, so I don't need this any longer. I can take this here, take this back, and this, take it back a little so it looks more. Um, the goodbye, I don't need goodbye any longer. I just need this. And so I would run the query again, and let's see if I'll get an error this time. Yeah. Okay. So for, wow. Um. You know what? I'll just say no, no. I I think I should also do a query for this query. So I would also write a subquery as well for the customer. Just select all from, and I would create a query. I'll now say select. So just writing subquery. Select this. I'll say from this, and end it with I'll say as. Yeah, so this makes sense. To make it more clean, I'll just put indentation. Yes. Let me just put the indentation just here like this. So yeah, I can then do a join. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Ooh. Also, is okay. I don't need this UC.id again. Okay. What's the group by? Where's the group by? Where's the group by? They're saying in aggregate without group by. Oh, what am I doing? What am I looking at? Without group by. Oh, so I didn't do a group by. Oh, so I was supposed to say group by owner underscore ID. Yeah, so then I'm then going to do a join, and yes. Okay, so you can see now that I did some queries to get what I wanted to do, and instead of having to do a join, a complete join, and do the aggregation, it was taking time and we had connection loss. But you see, under about 0.75 seconds, we wrote using subquery, and it gave us what we wanted. Now, so I really don't need this owner ID any longer. I just need full name, the owner ID, savings, this and this, right? And the general deposit is in Kobo. I think they mentioned it here. So let's see. Yeah, so all amount fields in Kobo, I have to convert it to Naira. So it's Naira, Nigerian currency. So I have to do this data deposit here. I will just say divide by 100. 100. Um, just to confirm, um, I really don't know for how long you guys have not been hearing me, which is weird. And ouch, this is weird. I mean, one of the I'm using an extra a mic just for clarity, and unfortunately, it's using a battery. It went off. I didn't know. But I want to assume that it wasn't so long. ago that it went off. So before then, I talked about the amount in Kobo. I had to convert it to Naira because it's Nigerian currency. I also want to see the data type for the confirmed amount. The reason is because I want to know if it's divided by an integer or a decimal. So I'll just go to confirm. Oh, is it double? So I think I'll just say dot zero just to be safe. What else? Okay, so I was saying I wanted to just call out the fields that I need, and so I would say for the fields of plan, I need, let me just say, the owner ID. I also need savings. Again, I don't need to do the PP dot. Sorry about that. I just say savings investment because I think they are just unique to those tables. So it's okay for me to call it like this. But for owner ID is not unique to just the plan table. It's also unique. It's also in the so excuse me, the savings account table as well. So which is why I need to specify the owner ID. So I could say owner ID. I also say full name. I think it's full name. Full name is just unique to the customer column. Investment is and total deposits. Sorry about that. Total deposits, I think. And cool. Yeah. So nice. Um, so this is the So basically what I did was is a count, a savings count and so on and so forth. So I could give an alias as well. So this is basically what I want. Let's see what else. What kind of formatting they want there. So they want two decimals. So I will change it to savings count. I'll change this to name, owner ID again, and total deposit. So I would say oof, because basically what I did is a count here as well. I just normalize the count by converting it into a sum, and in case the data type was actually not a um, a, uh, a data type that you can do a sum. Assuming it was yes no, I would just equal to yes then one else like that, which is fine. So for this I'll just say as name, as as name. For this I'll say as savings count. This savings count or saving count? Yeah, savings count. Then this will just be as investment count. Yeah, and I think I am good. Okay, then run it and yay. Oh, so for this, I'm going to round this up to just two decimals. So I'll say round. Um, then I'll say comma 2, and they also say I should sort it by total deposits, right? So so I then have this to if I didn't do it by dividing it, just watch what happened here. I'll reverse this. I'll get like a very large sum, so it's not really wise to what else what okay, they say I should sort um, um, so sort by total deposit. So at the end of this query, I can also use CTE to do this as well. So like instead of me having to, actually I would have used CTE, would have made sense. I'll just say with CTE, but it's fine. Let me see on this. Okay, so I'll say order by total deposit. So it will order it in ascending order automatically, but let's see if it will work. Otherwise I'll convert it to a CTE. It works. Interesting. So like that. Cool. I'm assuming this is what they want to get out of it. So I'm supposed to add comments like for here. I would say get to concatenate first and last name from the full name from the customer, from the user custom user table. This is just what I wanted from here. Then this other table, I just wanted to do an aggregation of get total deposits and owner ID from the savings. That's just what I wanted to get from here, underscore savings account. And for here I'll just say the join is just implicit in itself. Like I don't really need to comment on that. Now if you really want to make it more interesting, you can just copy it to ChatGPT and ask it to do like a comment for you if you want. It took me 1 hour just so this is question 1, and yeah, so basically this is question 1. For question 2, and since they asked for just 3 tables, I will delete this this. You can also comment on this to say check the table schema for the plan table, or you can just say check the plans underscore plan schema. Actually wanted to check the what I want is the data types. The data types which is why I use this right here, so you can comment. And what challenge do I have? I had the challenge of wanting to do the join and aggregate at so separate so all in one. I wanted to do it in one place. I wanted to do the join first, get my column, and then I do my aggregation as the main query instead of a sub query. But it was taking too long. After 30 seconds the connection got lost, and so it's taking a lot of power. So I decided to use why I decided to use subqueries is, again, you can see it's faster, and I think if I use CTE might be much more faster as well. So for the second